President Yoon Suk Yeol's trip to Washington marks the first official U.S. state visit for a South Korean leader in 12 years. For more on what to expect from the summit between the leaders of the two countries, as well as Netflix's latest announcement to invest in Korean content, we have our foreign affairs correspondent Bae Eun-ji in the studio. Welcome, Eun-ji.
Good evening.
So, Eun-ji, as we heard earlier, on the first day of his arrival in Washington, President Yoon secured some $2 billion of investment with Netflix in his meeting with the firm's CEO.
That's right. Netflix announced it'll invest $2.5 billion over the next 4 years to create Korean content like movies, dramas, and reality shows. This is double the amount that the streaming giant had been investing in South Korea from 2016 until last year. The presidential office explained this will be an opportunity for the two countries to strengthen their partnership in the content industry, and that it's meaningful as it shows Korean content is being consumed worldwide. An official from the presidential office explained Tuesday that this was no easy deal, and that they've actually been working on it for 3 months, since early January. And that it was Netflix that offered first to invest in Korean content, and consultations picked up speed after Yoon replied to a letter from Netflix. The official also added President Yoon and First Lady Kim Gon-hee both held discussions with Netflix.
Right, the deal definitely shows South Korea's exploding popularity in the content market. And the highlight of President Yoon's visit will be, of course, the summit between the two leaders, right? What's on the agenda?
That's right. Well, as North Korea continues to advance its nuclear missile programs, security challenges are what the two leaders will have to address first and foremost. The presidential office on Tuesday hinted that the two leaders will discuss ways to strengthen extended deterrence, and that a separate statement on this will be released following the talks. Let's take a listen.
After the summit, President Yoon Suk Yeol and U.S. President Biden will release a separate statement on extended deterrence. We hope it will include a more advanced version of an extended deterrence strategy.
President Yoon himself has been pushing for Seoul to have greater involvement in the joint planning and execution of Washington's nuclear weapons operations in the event of a nuclear attack by Pyongyang. He recently called for measures stronger than NATO's nuclear sharing arrangement with the U.S. He may have implied a nuclear sharing system between South Korea and the U.S. that's beyond just giving advice to the U.S. government, unlike NATO, where the member states can only advise the U.S. commanding authorities about nuclear planning and nuclear use.
Right, and another key item on the agenda is bolstering economic cooperation, ranging from semiconductors to biotechnology. And South Korea also aims to resolve issues on the Biden administration's CHIPS Act and the Inflation Reduction Act.
That's right. During President Yoon's visit, he will be accompanied by a business delegation made up of 122 people, the largest ever since he took office. The group includes the chairman of Samsung Electronics, SK, LG, and Hyundai Motor Group, as well as the heads of 6 major business associations in South Korea. 2 major issues that they hope to solve are concerns surrounding Washington's CHIPS Act and the Inflation Reduction Act. Under the CHIPS Act, the U.S. plans to provide subsidies, along with tax incentives, to chip makers who set up production facilities in the U.S. This raised uncertainties and has made it hard for Korean chip makers like Samsung and SK Hynix to find a balance between U.S. and China. And the Inflation Reduction Act gives tax credits to buyers of electric vehicles assembled only in North America, sparking concerns that South Korean car makers like Hyundai and Kia could lose ground. Also, in hopes of creating a biotech hub in South Korea, Yoon will stop in Boston, home to more than 1,000 biotech companies. He'll hold talks with leading scholars in the digital and bio sectors and deliver an address at Harvard Kennedy School.
Well, I see. We'll have to wait and see what the two leaders will come up with during their summit later on. Thank you, Eun-ji, for your thorough report.
Thank you.